What's going on, everyone? It's Michael with One Mic Out. Today, what I would like to talk about is, I've let it kind of go for the last few days with the whole Trump coming out with Pam Bondi and Dan and Cash coming out saying, there's no list. And I hate talking about this shit. I hate that. And I'm not talking about the list, I'm just talking about politics. I'm not a fan of this ruling our lives, and it consumes us, a great majority of us, I should say, not everybody, in what we choose to complain about every day. We as Americans live in such a first world country that we get to just sit and complain about these different leaders up top who all do the same thing. Now, they might have some slight differences here and there of what they do. Again, I would much rather Trump be in office right now than Biden. Pick your poison. Or I'd much rather Republican be in office than a Democrat, considering what Democrats have pushed for, the radical ideas they've pushed for, versus Republican, ideas that aren't necessarily radical. They've just been the norm for so long, and everyone's mad at them for not changing or conforming to a woke style mindset. That's the only difference between the two. It's one does not want to embrace this woke ideology because they see the dangers behind a lot of it. But at the same time, we're sitting here talking about this Epstein list, and we're saying, yeah, if Trump's in office, he's finally going to be able to be like, yeah, let's get this dang thing out. Let's get people looking at it. Let's start seeing some heads roll, and he even campaigns on it, and then all of a sudden he comes up and they say what they're saying, and then they even admit they say there's no list, and then they go on a few days later and he's like, well, there's stuff, but it would be too dangerous to blah 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 releasing this. No, let it burn, let everything burn. If that's what it has to come down to, and that's what has to happen to destroy this elite pedophile ring that's going on, then that's exactly what needs to happen. Let it burn. Let it all burn. Let it all burn if that's the case. And if you are of the mindset that says, well, the whole too big to fail, remember all the bailouts? If you're trying to say, oh, but the government, it's too much and too many, higher up people, it would destabilize this, destabilize that. And so this is why it's a matter of national security, then shame on you, because now you're given an excuse for people to literally rape and molest and kidnap and human traffic children. And if you're okay with that, then you, my friend, or not my friends, you're a sick human being. Heads need to roll. People need to go to prison or worse. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. This is incredibly disappointing, especially as someone who identifies more with being center right than center left or extreme right. Again, I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I'm not an independent. I don't affiliate with a party. The only time you should ever affiliate with a party is if you are running for office for that party. But the rest of us, it makes no sense for you to identify as being with a party. Just identify with being a good American. If you can't be a good human being, be a good American. That's it. I am incredibly disappointed. The reason Democrats, obviously, there's names of all parties and all peoples from different walks of life who's on that dang list. And so, the whole argument right now of seeing some Democrats come out and be like, oh, release trust me, if there was a way, if they knew Trump's name was on this list and their names weren't on this list, it would have been released. But they know that they'd be self-incriminating if they're like, yeah, release a list that has my name on it too. Never mind, don't release it. It would have been released under Biden if that were the case. And it never was because of all the elites up top being protected. Sadly, the people, those who are compromised now are our FBI director and deputy director, and Pam Bondi, and you could say Caroline Levitt and all of them, if they're continuing and perpetuating this lie. We know it exists. Everyone knows it exists. And we know that there are names on it that a lot of these elites don't want us to see, but we have to see. We need to see. We are owed it. And these people need to be held accountable. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Go ahead and hit like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff down below. And let me know what your thoughts are on this, because for me, like I said, I'm pissed. This doesn't mean I turn. Mm, I'll put it this way. It's not that I'm just being like screw Trump and hopping on that train, because I'm definitely not. But I'm of the mindset that if it all needs to burn in order for this list to come out, then let it all burn. That's the mindset that I'm throwing at you. So let me know, and in the comments and all that kind of stuff. But this is Mike with one mic out, and stay tuned for another one coming up.